What is going down, everyone? We have a very special guest today. We have 49ers defensive end, Charles Omenihu. The guy is a busy man. He just got some grub. He's about to head to a workout with Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw. But how are you doing, my guy?
I'm good,
What's the vibe, man?
man. It's been good, man. I'm glad to be back. Working, man. The grind don't really stop at all. And getting ready to prepare for training camp and for a real promising, successful year. So glad to be on. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, dude. I really do appreciate you hopping on and taking some time. I know the faithful are excited to hear from you and some of the stuff that you got to say. But I kind of want to talk about a little bit about your off-season training and also to kind of getting a full year, like knowing you're going to be a San Francisco 49er.
Mm-hmm.
What's that whole situation like? Obviously, getting traded here from Houston, you got the whole year to kind of prepare and know what's ahead of you.
Yeah,
What's that been like?
it's been good, man. Coming in halfway through the season, it's an adjustment. I didn't think it was going to be that crazy of an adjustment, but when you kind of look at the overview of the year, you're like, that was an adjustment for sure. Like just different scheme, the city, teammates. So it's a little different, but now that everything for me is calmed down, like I'm settled, I know what I'm getting into, more comfortable in the new stance I have, new system, everything. It's been a lot easier for me.
Absolutely. Can you kind of put us into that mindset? Because I don't know if I've ever spoken to a player that has like been traded. Like, what is that experience like? Because I mean, you're a Texas kid. Like, I think what you grew up in Dallas area,
Mm-hmm.
right? You went to school in Austin. You get drafted by the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
So like that's pretty much all you've known. And then you get the call that you're headed to the Bay. What is it like to be in that position to find that kind of stuff out?
It was shocking a little bit, but everything happens for a reason. You don't have anything that goes on. I truly believe that like God does everything for a reason. So um, nothing nothing happens on accident. So it was what I had to do and did that. And I'm happy that I'm here. Happy that I'm a Niner and shit. We rolling now. Ain't no hiccups now.
Absolutely. And I saw you got number 94 back. I think you came through with you had 92. I think you actually had 59 to start, then you got 92. How does it feel to get that 94 back?
It's good, bro. It's been my number, so I'm glad I got that back and back in my just everything. Just I'm settled now, honestly. Like I
Yeah.
said, that would be the number one thing. Is just I'm really just settled. There's nothing else but just going out there and playing and doing what I've been doing, and now being in a with an organization that knows what they're doing, a team that knows what they're doing, a D line that's proven over and over. So it's a blessing for sure.
So what's it like going from, and I'm not sure what scheme you're running in Houston, but we know what we're running here with Chris Kosarek. We're with the wide nine. What was that transition period like? And do you feel like, because we've heard other players talk about how there's a bit of like an acclimation process to get ready for the wide nine if you haven't been or had experience with it. What has that been like? And do you feel like pretty comfortable with it right now?
Yeah, it's a little different. Coming in playing like a traditional like five technique, six technique, and then coming here and not doing that and being so wide, it was a little different. Something that you gotta just continue to practice. It's not something that you just jump into and be like, oh, I'm gonna be good at this. Now you gotta continue to practice and get your reps in. And once you do, you see why guys are successful in it and why they everywhere Chris has been, like D linemen have produced.
Absolutely. Um, Arden Key was here last year. And
Mhm.
you guys kind of have like a similar build, right? Like 6'5", 6'6", really long arms, great size, good first step quickness. You kind of have that ability to kind of kick inside, maybe play in the three tech, also bump outside the tight end if you need to. Could you kind of see a world that exists where like you could be kind of maybe in that Arden Key role, or they carving out your own role in that defensive line room?
I could definitely see it. I think when I got traded, that's kind of like what they were telling me and what they thought about me. But then Arden did his thing last year, and so being able to watch that and see how he just flourished in that role, it gives the same sense and same thought process, and then something that I can definitely see myself doing.
Absolutely. You're about to go work out with Eric, right? You're about to
Yeah,
go work out with Kinlaw. How has Eric been, man? Like I've heard so many good things about Eric Armstead, like as a leader, just as someone who just really owns, the D line room and takes a lot of accountability for a lot of the, just being a leader. What's
yeah.
it like having a guy like that to lean on?
Nah, Eric's definitely somebody you can lean on for just anything, bro. Like you can come to him about the defense, and he's been in. He understands it to the fullest. He's played every position on the D line and been in every kind of situation. So somebody that if you have a question, as a younger guy, you don't have to feel hesitant because he's a vet. That what I'm saying, that he's not going to give you every knowledge or information that he knows about it and share it with you. So that's never a thing with him. Guy's been doing it for going on like 8 years now. So he's established in the league and somebody that, like I said, you can go to for literally anything, and you won't have to feel like, yeah, I don't know if I can really ask this for real. Like, so it's a guy that any young guy or even the guy that's trying to make his stamp in the league can go to and be like, and get help from.
When did you feel like you were comfortable in the scheme, in kind of the new environment? Like, did it feel like there was a point for you last season where it like clicked and you were like, all right, I feel comfortable. I know how to attack. I know what I need to do, my roles, my responsibilities, and you could play a little bit more freely. Sometimes you can kind of get in your head a little bit, think a little too much. Do you think there was ever a point where it just like kind of clicked for you?
I would say a little bit. Not, I think for me, I've really felt comfortable during minicamp OTAs this year. But if a game that I was like kind of felt like I was rolling a little bit would probably be the Cowboys game. Obviously, that was the game I played the most and had the most production, but I ain't really feel as comfortable till really I got in the OTAs and minicamp here this year. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's a long time
that is a long time.
yeah.
Because, like, I mean, you go from one team, you had all offseason preparation for Houston Texans, what their defense offers, what their role is, and then halfway into the year, you find yourself 1 week walking into a brand new locker room. So I could imagine that is quite, a change and could take some time to really get used to. But that Cowboys game really felt like a coming out party. I mean, you were making plays against the Bengals, the Falcons, the Titans. We're starting to see you, even against your old team, against the Texans. Before we get into the Cowboys, what was it like playing the team that traded you that same year? Because again, you rolled up, Texans rolled up to the Bay Area, week 17, and you got to see all your former teammates. What was that like?
Lovely. It'd be even better, even though it's preseason. It'd be even sweeter this year.
Did did you kind of like know, were you able to, how does that work? Like, do you kind of like tell the rest of your defensive line room, like, hey, these are some things to look out for. Here's some things to key on with this particular offensive lineman. He
Yeah,
likes to do this in this situation. Hit him with this move. He struggles really to his left opposed to his right. Are you able to kind of like provide that insight?
yeah, no. I mean, I knew all those guys, so it was something where I could definitely share knowledge with everybody and give everybody like tips and stuff. Because, like I said, I've been knowing those guys for like 2-3 years, so it wasn't nothing that they were doing on film that I couldn't be like, yo, this is their weakness, this is what they're not good at. Shit is why I hit them in practice. So
Absolutely. Chris Kosterek, what makes him such a great coach? Like, it really feels like, for I think you take a step back, you look at the roster right now, the way it's constructed, not only this year but the last couple years, really feels like the defensive line room is just consistently stacked and loaded. And all the players, you just hear nothing but good things about Chris. What makes Chris such a good coach? I mean, would you consider him as
He's,
one of the
he's he's the best coach I've ever had, but he's super invested though. Super invested. Probably the most invested coach in his players and what he teaches I've ever seen. Honestly, um, so he doesn't. When he say he really spend time for, he really be spending that time. Like he really means it. So just how invested he is in his time and like his players and putting in a game plan, individual offensive linemen that we go against, and the details of how to play in this scheme. He just on it. He's on top of it.
what about the addition of Daryl Tapp? He seems like I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I seen him out of practice. I'm like, man, can he still suit up? He looks like he's got that energy too. What's a
Tap give me a couple plays. Tap will definitely get in there, get a couple plays in. But no, Tap is just he gets it from a player's perspective, and he played under Chris, so he understands. He always it's always a have that somebody like you as a player, the player kind of deal, than just seeing as like, oh, you only have two coaches around you. Like, now you can go to them as a player and talk to them about anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty exciting because obviously the 49ers are stacked yet again. Like at the D line, it's not only you, it's not only Nick Bosa, it's Samson Ebukam, it's Willis, it's the list goes on a lot. Kamoko Ture. There's a ton of guys in that room. Do you guys look at it from a situation of like competition? I mean, obviously football is competition, but is it more of like try to find your specific role, or does having all those guys really push you to be even better, especially too headed into a contract year? Is there a lot of motivation this year to really show out?
Yeah, when you surround around that many guys who really are like top of the line, type of defensive lineman, it pushes you to every day. You know you gotta put your best foot forward because you just don't want to look like that guy on film that had a bad day. And even though everybody gonna have a bad day, you're not gonna be perfect, but just with that kind of amount of talent in the room, it just pushes you to like be on your craft, and you just want to be that guy that shows up every day because at the end of the day, that makes you a better player. And then when you go on the field and you go against an opponent, you done already push yourself to high limits and high stakes where because of the guys around you.
Absolutely. Does obviously we talked about Eric Armstead a little bit, but what about Nick Bosa, man? Like, what's it like watching that guy go to work every day? I think of him as like a technician when just has an answer for anything that an offensive lineman's going to throw at him. Uh, is it cool to be able to be in the same room with him? And what's it kind of like sharing a defensive line room with Nick Bosa?
Yeah, Nick is a dog, man. Everything that he's accomplished is no surprise to anybody. First step is crazy. It's hand-eye coordination. That's why people ask me about him. I always tell them that his hand-eye coordination is one of the best. I think that's what really separates him as far as just as when you talk about him being a technician. Then obviously he's a really good athlete on the field. But yeah, I mean everything that he's done, the season he had last year, season he's going to have this year, will be at no surprise. Super consistent what he does in his routine. Um, he just every day shows up and it's the same guy every day. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, obviously, I think this is a big year for you. I think you would agree with yourself. Do you have any like personal goals of what you're trying to accomplish this season?
Yeah, I mean, I actually sit down with myself and set that today, since we really start tomorrow. So I'll do that today, and I have my training camp goals, and then once preseason's over with, I throw that away, and then I have my season goals, and I put that on my wall, put a little prayer underneath it, and just leave it at that, and just go every day. Mentality. Um, obviously, it's that year for somebody that's going into their contract year, and it means a lot. So, um, but you got to take every day as just stacking days. That's really how you got to look at it. You can't one day can't be bigger than the next day.
Absolutely. Kind of like a one day at a time mentality. You can set the goals for the broader season, but still got to attack it one day at a time, right?
Yeah,
When you look at the defense as a whole, would you kind of maybe make the argument that could even be better than last season? I think you know, last year obviously had its ups and downs, but it really felt like one of the common themes of last season was the defense really holding it down. Whether that was, Fred Warner, Aziz, or Dre in the middle, go to the back end. It was Kwaski, it was Ward. You had Ambry Thomas step in. You had the Shark doing Shark things, and you had Emmanuel locking down everyone. It felt like. Do you feel like, with the additions of Charvarius Ward, getting all these guys back, getting Kinlaw healthy? I mean, I'm really excited about Kinlaw, but when you just look at over the entire group that you guys have right now, do you feel like you could do even more damage next year as a unit?
yeah. I mean, I can only speak for what I'm saying, the 8 games plus the playoffs I was with them. But overall, just looking overall, yeah, this. I mean, I think we're stacked from head to toe on defense. Honestly, it's just everybody. But you can have all the talent, all the depth, but you got to put it all together on the field, execution wise. Um, I think that's be the biggest thing is just execution, effort, and aggression, and that's I noticed the difference coming here from being where I was immediately. Like guys just really not like you could just tell like guys really put in that extra here, really love football. Um, Tell that's a tight knit group, and you just gravitate to that, and you become that if that's something that you're not already. And I feel like that holds weight when it comes to playing complete defense. So I think for us, just the biggest thing is just going to be executing consistently all the time. Other than that, I mean, talented, got all the players that you need, got guys that care, got guys that are going to run and hit wherever the ball's at. So definitely
Absolutely.
going to be a top defense.
I think so. I'm excited. And we got a little present last year because I'm not gonna lie, I was prepping for the news that Miko was gonna get a head coaching job somewhere, and the fan base was lightweight terrified about that.
Yeah.
What is it like knowing that you get, and that was Miko's rookie year as a defensive coordinator. I mean, just outperformed any type of expectation. You could see how he was having to adjust the scheme week in and week out based on personnel that was available. What does it feel like knowing that you guys got the depth, you got the pieces, you got the players, and now you're getting Miko into year two, feeling like he's a cook and he's got all the ingredients, all the utensils. He could make up whatever he wants. Does it feel like Miko's going to be cooking this year?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, from when I was here, uh, definitely just stay consistent in the approach of how we're going to play defense. And like I said, it's all about execution. That's really all it is, executing. Guys going to play hard. Guys going to do what they like as far as just putting out the effort, but just about mentally being in a space where you execute down there and down out. And that's really what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to ask about kind of switching over to the other side. You get to go up against Trent Williams, don't you?
Yeah.
Can you can you talk about what going in my opinion, the best offensive lineman probably of our generation. I'll say he's probably the best player in the NFL. Again, you can argue Aaron Donald, you can argue a bunch of different guys, but it just really feels like Trent Williams is playing at a level that is just unbelievable. What's it like being able to practice against that guy? Do you feel like that helps you get prepared for game days?
Yeah. I mean, this going in being in a full training camp with them will show more because I mean in practice you ain't just trying to kill nobody, but in training
Yeah.
camp guys are competing, guys are going. So I'll definitely see it all. when we started up for real. But super athletic. Uh, I mean, he's going to year 13 and just as athletic as the guy that's coming as a rookie. So strong, everything that you want. So when you go against him and you know you're gonna throw your best stuff, when you go against other tackles, you just have that kind of confidence that you're coming in, that you're feeling gone against the best of the best. You know, when you go out there on Sunday, ain't nobody else really stacking with him for real. So it's
Because
good.
you went against Tyron Smith with the Cowboys, who I would consider one of the best left tackles in the game. Um, and you put some work on him. I'm not gonna lie. You hit him with a couple jabs. You kind of get him off to the side. Um, what was it like? What was it like going up against him in that in the playoffs? You know, I would say in your home state, kind of your home area. And,
Yeah,
talk a little bit about that Dak sack with the little strip on it too. That was a dope play.
just throughout the game, I was just like, I mean, for me, it's really just about confidence and like a mindset that I get into. And once I got into that, I just knew that I was gonna have a pretty good day. Tyron's a great player, strong as hell, and strong as hell. So you got to bring it with him. But that play, I hit him kind of with the same kind of move the play before, I think. And then I was just like, just keep going, just keep trying to wear him down, keep trying to wear him down. It's a long game. When you go against guys like that, you just ain't gonna get them off the top, off the first move. So you just gotta know you gotta keep when opportunity goes. So that was my mentality. And opportunity striked and made that play. I wish I recovered the ball and picked it up and scored. You know, it's a little dream kind of deal. But from that play on, I just even before that, but that once that play hit, I was in a different kind of mentality.
Yeah, dude. It felt like you were locked in that game. Felt like, obviously Bosa goes down, so we had to rely on the depth, and you were one of those guys, and you really, I think you had 6 pressures in that game. You had a sack and a half. Felt like you kind of came alive, but it is pretty interesting to hear that you're just now feeling comfortable in this year's minicamp and OTAs, and you're
Yeah.
putting up 6 pressures against Tyron Smith, the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff game. I think that just gets everyone excited for what Charles Omenihu could really bring to the table this coming season. I mean, I get it. We got Drake Jackson, like we talked about all the guys that we got. Um, but it feels like Chris does a really good job of identifying when certain guys can go in at what times and kind of identify how to maximize those efforts the best. And it feels like you're going to be one of those guys that we're going to be relying on quite a bit next year. Are you getting that sense that you're going to get some good run next year?
I think so. From OTAs and minicamp, I could tell. But like I said, just training camp is when it all matters in a sense. When you put pads on, so just go from there. Honestly.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time, dude. I know you're a busy man. You're getting ready for training camp. Someone said in the chat, they said, shout out the driver. So shout out the driver. Appreciate you keeping our guy Charles safe.
Yeah, y'all love the driver.
shout, shout out the driver.
Yeah, shout out the driver, yo.
I appreciate the driver, man. Let's see. Can I ask you a couple more questions? You got enough time for maybe just a couple more, and then we'll get this thing wrapped
Yeah,
up.
yes,
I
sir.
appreciate it, man. I really, really do. Um, Again, I kind of want to get because obviously a big question around 49ers fans and stuff like that is, how that O line's looking. Now, you mentioned, you got here mid-year, and you're probably going up against scout team quite a bit. But a player that's on that probably was on that scout team was Aaron Banks. Could you give us a little bit of insight, maybe into Banks, kind of what he looks like, and just kind of like what those battles, obviously he'll pick up in training camp when the pads come on and all that good stuff. But what's just kind of your outlook as from a defensive lineman perspective on Aaron Banks?
Big athletic dude. Uh, don't let him get your hands on you. I mean, I feel like he's being trusted to do whatever you know what I'm saying, role he'll have, and coaches are gonna trust him obviously with how the offseason went. So obviously there's a high level of trust there, and I mean Banks been working, so definitely somebody that's gonna contribute a lot and be everything that the coaches want him to be.
Yep. We got someone here. I don't know if you could see it on the screen. Scott asked. He sent a super chat. He said, "Who is the driver?" Now we'll keep it low key. You don't have to give up the driver, but
The driver is just a fan favorite. That's what I'll say. The driver is a big time fan favorite.
just a big time fan favorite. Okay, you'll love to see
Yeah,
it.
49,
You'll love to
49ers
see
love the 49ers will love the driver. Y'all know the driver really, really well.
it. So all good. We'll keep the driver anonymous at this point. But again, appreciate the time. Could you give me a little bit of insight, kind of like Talanoa Hufanga, man? Obviously Kowalski, 49er for a long time. Played really well for the team, especially down the stretch, into the playoffs, all that good stuff. You know, I think, Kowalski is one of those guys that doesn't get enough respect. But, I think the team has made it clear, they're kind of turning the page. Looks like Talanoa Hufanga is going to be stepping in. What can you tell us about what you've seen from him? I mean, obviously, limited experience that you have, but maybe kind of what you've seen in minicamp out of him and maybe something along those lines.
Yeah, no, he just seems comfortable. Coming in from his rookie year and now going to his second year, probably comfortability level is really high. So and you can tell he has a swagger to him. He's a Cali boy, so he definitely is that cool, calm, swag kind of dude. A lot of Cali dudes is, and I mean he's a player, bro. So you're not gonna be a guy that's gonna have a big role in this defense and not be a player. So definitely entrust in him and what he's gonna bring to the table this year.
Well, dude, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this defense. I think you talked about it earlier. You guys could be one of the best units in the entire NFL. I think the 49er fans are kind of feeling that. I think we can kind of sense it. Just feels like when you look at the defensive line, you look at the linebackers, you look at the coverage guys, safeties, cornerbacks, just feels like you guys are stacked. Coaching's there. Just feels like another good season in front of the San Francisco 49ers from a defensive standpoint. So again, I really do appreciate your time. I got to ask you, it feels like it's mandatory at this point considering the offseason that we've had. So we'll end it on this question, but I do appreciate your time. You've actually known Trey Lance before he was a 49er, right? You kind of worked with him
Who?
or been
You said who?
around him. Trey Lance.
Who? I yeah. I knew Trey before I got here.
So what can you tell us from that kind of standpoint, like what you saw from that kid who was getting ready for the draft and now that guy that you see in minicamp? What are some of the things that you've seen from Trey?
Trey got arm on him. You know, I played with Deshaun Watson, so I know what a good quarterback looks like. Um, so definitely he has a lively arm, and it's all about confidence, and I feel like he's really gained that, and excited to, you know what I'm saying, for him to be at the helm.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Again, Charles, I appreciate the time. I know you're a busy man. We got to shout out the driver too. Appreciate the driver getting our man to his workouts safe. Really do appreciate your time, Charles. I'm going to let you get out of here. I know you got your workout here coming up. So thank you, brother, for joining us. I really do appreciate
Hey,
it.
hold on. At the end, at the end of this, I'm gonna just go ahead and reveal the driver. D. Eric Armstead.
Hey, let's go. What's good, Eric? Let's go, Eric.
Appreciate
I
you
love to
having me
see it,
on.
man. Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate it. You guys go have a phenomenal workout, man. You guys get Kinlaw, kick his butt too a little bit. Appreciate you hopping on, Charles. Really, really do. Shout out Eric, man. Looking for a good season from both you guys. Really do appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, man. Peace. Hey, let's go. Let's go. We found out who the driver was. Hey, we found out who the driver was. That was funny. Hey, we found out who the driver was. Shout out Eric Armstead. That's gonna be one of the biggest chauffeurs probably in existence. Like, right? Like, dude's like what, 6'8"? 6'8". You're not gonna find an Uber driver bigger than Eric Armstead. That was dope. Shout out Charles. Hey, it's pretty cool to see Charles working with Eric Armstead and Javon. They were going to go meet with Javon Kinlaw too. So you got Eric, you got Javon. Eric just low key in the background the whole time. Eric just low key chilling in the back the entire time. That's hilarious. Oh man, that's so good. That's so good. Hey, shout out Charles. I appreciate you guys tapping in. My guy was on the move. The whole time. And again, he took me through the entire facility. When we got on and we are getting ready to go, we started in the locker room. He went all the way through the facility. He went to the cafeteria. He met with he ran into D'Amico Ryans at the cafeteria, ran into the special teams coach, ran into a couple other players. And then he hops into the whip with Eric Armstead, and they're off to go train right now. As you can see, they're just getting out of the car when they pulled up. So I think that was our first ever interview where the player was literally on the move the entire time. Bro, my ADHD was flaring. I was like, oh boy, my guy's moving all over the place. But that was awesome, bro. Charles is dope. I'm really excited for Charles. If you've seen his workouts this year, you've seen like some of the stuff that he's doing. He talked about how he's always done Pilates. He talked about how he added in yoga. So like he's taken his training to another level, and clearly, you know, he feels comfortable. I thought it was really interesting how he said, "Hey, I didn't really feel comfortable in the scheme until this year's mini camp." So that was crazy because again, we talked about it in the divisional round playoff game against the Cowboys. Charles Omenihu had 6 pressures and 1.5 sacks. He forced a fumble. So, and he's in a contract year, ladies and gentlemen. So, I really do think Charles could be a factor for the 49ers this year, especially, you know, we saw that Arden Key role and we saw what Arden Key was able to do. You look at those two guys together, very similar builds. I don't know. I kind of like Charles though to maybe even be more productive. I think because again, you can look at Charles. He can win on the outside with speed, with power, counter inside moves. But I think what makes him potentially like really could be really effective if you kick him inside over the guard, and I think that could be dope. Um, so uh, I'm pretty excited. You look at the defensive line depth. I mean, they got too many defensive ends. They don't even know what to do with at this point. But a phenomenal problem to have, and a guy like Charles Omenihu could really come in this year and just go crazy. Like it's not out of the range of a possibility to believe that he could potentially put up like I don't know, like 8 sacks plus, like and you see he's working with Eric, he's working with Kinlaw, he's working with the boys. Like it's those three working out right now, just those three. It was Kinlaw, Armstead, and Omenihu. I like the company that he's keeping. Um, you love to see it, man. You really, really do love to see it. So pretty excited. And again, shout out Charles, bro. Shout out Charles. For giving me any time. If he has to be on the move literally the entire interview, I'm okay. We we're riding with you. We were basically riding shotgun just now with Eric Armstead and Charles Omenihu as they were going to a workout. Again, it was that was a dope live because we had all the things. We had all the things again. Like I said, before I even hopped on, bro, went through the entire facility, and he was at his phone. I'm like, oh, I'm chilling with Charles Omenihu as he walks through the facility and says, "What's up?" to like he's like, "Oh, what's up, Miko?" I'm like, "Oh no big deal. It's Charles Omenihu just chopping it up with D'Amico Ryans right now." Um, thought it was cool. He talked about, I think someone mentioned right here, uh, you know, he said he knows what a good quarterback looks like, right? Because he played with Deshaun Watson in Houston. Obviously knows Trey Lance, because Trey Lance trained quite a bit with Deshaun Watson. So hey, there's a little bit of overlap there. But I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited for this defensive line. I really am. Those like we talked about Bosa. We already know Bosa. I think we understand. And yes, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Uh so Willis was 94 last year. Charles Omenihu has been 94. I think since his days at Texas. Uh when he was at University of Texas. Uh so he got 94 back. He was rocking 92. So you get the 94 back. He understands the scheme. He's in peak shape. He's 24 years old. I think that's important to remember as well. He's only 24. I mean, I think he turns 25 in I don't know, like a month or something. But still a lot of growth potential for Charles Omenihu. Feels like a bit of a perfect storm. Feels like a bit of a perfect storm for him. Again, we talk about Drake Jackson. I like Drake Jackson. I think he's got all the traits, the tools, intangibles, measurables, all of it. But I think he's a little raw. So that could translate into guys like Charles Omenihu getting more opportunities this season while Drake develops, continues to put polish with his moves and technique, things like that. Where guys like Ebukam, Willis, Omenihu could all be heavy in rotation. And then, of course, you got Eric Armstead, who's going to either be on the interior or on the outside. And that's the cool thing about Eric Armstead and Charles Omenihu is that they are all like this. Charles Omenihu, Eric Armstead, you just kick him inside, you kick him over the center, like literally. The coolest thing about kind of watching the development of this defensive line is that these guys can play all over the place. Again, Eric has played historically on the edge. He kicked in to the interior once they had some injuries. But I'm really excited, man. I think I think the 49ers defense has an opportunity to do some special things, and you guys know how you guys know what the vibe is. You know what the vibe is? It's trench warfare. It all starts in the trenches. It all starts in the trenches. So when you look at the 49ers defensive line, stacked. So if the 49ers defensive line is clogging holes, getting after the quarterback, guys like Fred Warner, Aziz, Dre, they're going to be able to flow wherever the hell they want. The whole double to backer thing, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see if these guys like Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, Nick Bosa, Charles Omenihu, Samson Ebukam, they're requiring double teams. That means the 49ers linebackers are going to be flowing all over the place. They're going to have an opportunity to just read and react and go. Because if these offensive linemen aren't able to double and peel, then because these defensive tackles are occupying two blockers, that means it's going to be really difficult to run on the 49ers. And then, adversely in passing situations, it's going to be even another opportunity for them to just get after it with potentially 4 or 5 rushers up front. Kind of go back to that 2019 year. What made 2019 defense so special was that pass rush. It was Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, it was D Ford, and it was Nick Bosa. And they rushed 4, and they could get home with 4. And 49ers had damn near an elite defense. No, I would say it was elite. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl. I don't got to bring that up, but yeah, I think one of the best developments of this particular live was Eric Armstead driving Charles Omenihu to their workout. I think that was I think that was the biggest development of the entire live. Was Eric Armstead, the the Uber driver. Shout out Eric though, for being a good sport, for allowing us the reveal, because he was clearly being low key, and that's okay. That's okay. He was clearly being low key. But hey, he said it was good at the end. He said, "All right, you could tell me who was." That's so funny. Hey, bro, these guys are hey, when we say leaders, right? Like we're talking about Eric Armstead driving Charles Omenihu to workouts. Like, talk about leadership, right? The proof is in the pudding. That was funny. What do you guys think? What I want to get your guys' thought. I apologize again. There was a lot going on. Pretty overstimulated interview, but we got through it, and Charles was great. But what did you guys think? What did you think about the interview? What did you think about what Charles had to say? Any points that you guys took away? Feel free to drop it in the chat, and we can talk about it. Anything that stood out to you guys from what Charles said? Obviously, we came away with Eric Armstead being the biggest Uber driver in the history of mankind. Arguably one of the best parts. We solved the mystery of the hidden driver. My guy said it was a good interview. Appreciate you, man. We have more depth now. This D line will be scary good. It'll be crazy. Crazy. Will be absolutely crazy. That's a 5-star rating for Eric Armstead. 100%. You better be smashing 5 stars for Eric Armstead. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. My guy said, Brad, I want to do what you do. How did you start? I started on Instagram. It's really what it came down to. I just started on Instagram and I branched off from there. It all started with IG and everything kind of took off from there. Ooh, yeah, let's go. Shout out Wayne Breezy. Go tap in with the homie. Sub to his channel. He's about to get some more Niners talk on. Perfect timing because I'm about to wrap it up. So if you guys want more Niner content, tap in with Wayne. He got you covered. Gav says, I liked Omenihu's attitude when he played the Cowboys. He needs to tap into that mentality every week. He talked about that a little bit. Talked about how it just kind of clicked for him. And it felt like he was kind of in that mode. So I think that's the biggest thing with Charles, man. Getting comfortable in the system, getting comfortable with his role. I think Charles could be in for a really big year. I think he could be that guy. So really, really Justin said, you're killing it, Brad. One day in the coming years, you'll have Jordan Mason on, and I'm confident, Justin, I will get Jordan Mason on literally just for you. If I could somehow do that, if I could get Jordan Mason on, I will literally get him on just for you. I promise. I promise. I really, really would. But yeah, man. Appreciate you, Bryant. I'm gonna try to go back, read some of the questions or just some of the chat. Again, apologize if I missed your super chat or anything or comment or anything like that. It was a very high stimulation interview, but it was a fire interview. Shout out Charles, man. Legend. Appreciate him coming on again. It's busy time of the year. Busy. So the fact that he could even make time was wonderful. My guy says, I hope you realize how huge this dude is. Saw him in person last year at the Falcons, and he dwarfed everyone. He's huge. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6". Incredible reach. Dude was, you should have seen some of the workouts. If you haven't seen some of the workouts, man, he's athletic. He's strong. He's flexible. Like, he's hungry. Contract year. I think the contract year is a little underrated. I think the contract year is a little underrated. This guy wants to grind. This guy wants to produce. Because of course you gotta work toward. You gotta get that contract, baby. Gotta get that contract. So if Charles Omenihu comes out and we're talking 8 sacks, we're talking 10 sacks from Charles. Ooh, Charles getting the bag. He's getting the bag. So, and that's what we want, even if it isn't with the 49ers, because we know we who knows what the Debo getting potentially paid, Bosa getting potentially paid. Who knows, like what money is going to be left around to hand out. But the best case scenario, Charles Omenihu goes 8-10 sacks, even more, and gets the bag, whether it's from the 49ers or whether it's from another team. But this is a great opportunity for this year. Charles has an opportunity to wreak havoc this year and be a integral part of this defensive line, which can lead to a big check. Because again, he's got the age; he's still young. You can get that. Get Charles paid. Because if Charles is getting paid, that means the 49ers are successful on defense. So that's good. It's a win-win. It is win-win. Again, even if it's not from the 49ers, if he gets a check, that's a win-win. You love to see it. Still loving the Eric Armstead drive. That's just so funny to me. Like, and we saved it for the end too. Saved it for the end. That was really funny. Got Eric there at the end. So we'll see. We actually, I think we got two residency drops coming in August. So be prepared for that. Should have a couple more hats. I think the red, white S and the black F that drops this month, and then the black version as well. So there'll be two new residency August, not July, August. So I'm excited, man. Again, shout out to all the guys. Appreciate everyone tapping in. Shout out all the homies. Appreciate you guys. You always make these streams hella fun. It's always a blast. Getting to talk, 49ers football with some of these guys, man. Oh, we should be able to get to 150. Come on. We can hit the 150 before we get out of here. Let's hit the 150 before we get out of here. But hey, good little primer. Good little primer before training camp. We got McGlinchey, Brunskill, Omenihu. We got a little appearance from Eric Armstead. So that was fun. Hey, we're ready. We're ready for training camp, baby. We are ready for training camp. It's here, guys. We made it. We made it. It has been an extremely long season up until this point, off season that is, and we're right around the corner. We are right around the corner. So can't wait. Cannot wait. Let's see. I believe first day of camp's on Wednesday. So any of you guys are going to be out there on Wednesday, make sure you say what's good to this ginger beard. But I'm excited. You know the vibes. We're going out there to do our homework. We're not going out there to, again, it's always a good time at training camp. Always a good time at training camp. But we're going out there with a purpose. Let me say that one more time. We are going out there with a purpose. We are going to evaluate. Let me say that again. I'm not going to report. I'm going to evaluate. I'm going to identify. I'm going to tell you who looks good and who needs some work. That's what we are going to do. You're gonna be able to get a lot of information out of those camps. But the information that I will be presenting will be in the form of evaluation. And why that is important, because if there's anything that you've learned, not everyone can evaluate. They can watch, the guys that we rock with, Jason Aponte, Jordan Elliott, a lot of those guys, good evaluators. Not everyone else is a great evaluator. Good reporters, not necessarily evaluators. So we're going to evaluate. We are going to scout tendencies, who's winning battles, who's losing battles, all of that stuff. We already got the track record down. You know we're going to be on top of it. We're going to have some of the best coverage out of training camp. Hell, I don't need to be credentialed. You're still going to get some of the best. You're still going to be getting some of the best coverage out of training camp. I just got to say it. Just got to say it. So you already know the vibes. Oh, tell them. Tell them. Turn those noties on. Turn those noties on. Hit that sub button if you haven't already, because we're going to the moon this year. Make sure you're following me on my personal Twitter. So a lot of the evaluations that I'll be doing will be from my personal Twitter, at Graham GRAHAM _SFN. So you want to follow along. You're gonna get a lot of content. It's going to be spread out all over a lot of platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and many more. So definitely looking forward to it. Evaluate Juice or we riot. Juice is always one of the best performers at training camp. Always. So love to see it. But I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to a fun week. I'm excited to get back to Santa Clara. I'm excited to get out there and watch football. Actually watch. Like watch. And again, evaluate. So very much looking forward to it. We're going to be keeping a special eye on Jordan Mason once the pads come on. Can't wait. And that's when the real evaluation begins. And we'll make that crystal clear. The real evaluation begins when pads come on. We evaluate everything for what the context represents, but the real evaluation becomes legitimate when pads come on. When the pads come on, we're talking football, baby. We're talking trench play. Woo! It's going to be a good time. I'm getting hyped up just thinking about it. But again, if you haven't already, I bet we got like 100 plus lurkers in here who haven't smashed that like button. Smash that like button on your way out. When we close down this video, drop an SDS in the comments on the live, because y'all been rocking with me. Appreciate you guys. It's been a long off season. We made it, and we get to talk real football here coming up. So I really, really do appreciate everyone who's been riding with the boy since the dog days of the offseason to now. And guess what? We are going to grow even more this year, and you guys are going to be right there with us, and it's going to be a blast. So appreciate you all. Thank you for everyone as always. The continued support is never taken for granted. Might got to bring Burford some tacos. We'll see. Appreciate the squad. We're out of here. Peace.